What's up guys, my name is Ryan and I recently returned from visiting the country of El Salvador and I want to share with you my favorite places and experiences, so here's my El Salvador top 10. Located in Central America, El Salvador is a small but lush country home to incredible landscapes. From world-class surfing to stunning volcanoes, El Salvador is waiting to be experienced. I have a special place in my heart for El Salvador because I lived here 10 years ago when I was serving a 2-year mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. When I was there, El Salvador was one of the most dangerous countries in the world due to gang violence. I wasn't sure if I would ever come back, but thanks to the new president Nayib Bukele, he cracked down on crime and built the infamous State prison where the gangs are locked up, and as a result, El Salvador has become one of the safest countries in the Western Hemisphere. It's truly a miracle what has happened in this country, and I felt a huge difference when I returned. The first place we visited when we came to the country is San Salvador. Located about 40 minutes from the airport, San Salvador is the capital and largest city in the country. I lived here as a missionary for 6 months and I really enjoyed my time here. One of the most popular places in the capital is the Centro Histórico. When I was here 10 years ago, this area was really sketchy, but in the last few years it really has turned around and it's a popular place that local El Salvadorians love to come. About a year ago, the National Library of El Salvador was open to the public. It's this beautiful building that gives the youth and people in the community a great place to study and learn. From up top, you get a beautiful view of the historical center. After I enjoyed walking around the square, there's the National Palace where some government ceremonies are held, and on the other side there was this beautiful church. I really enjoyed exploring the historical center and seeing all the happy locals around. Another cool place in the city is the Salvador del Mundo Monument. It was built in 1942 and is situated in the center of this massive roundabout in the heart of the city. Now, a cool activity you can do just outside San Salvador is take a ride down the Rainbow Slide. I've seen this place featured several times on social media, so I had to go check it out. The slide is at the Picnic Steakhouse, and to do the slide, I think it costs like $5 a person, and it's a little scary just sitting up there. It's so steep, but one of the workers will push you off and you just fly down the slide. They spray it with this water to keep it slick. It was a super fun activity and definitely worth visiting if you're in San Salvador. Now, just up the road from the Rainbow Slide is the El Boquerón volcano. It's the massive volcano that overlooks all of San Salvador. There's a giant crater with another little volcano inside of it. After, we're going to take a hike to the Tamanique Waterfalls. Located in these lush mountains that extend to the coast, there's this series of waterfalls in this valley that I was super excited to go to. Now, to get there, we drove to the beautiful mountain town of Tamanique and we parked near the tourism office, and they require a guide to go down there, and it cost around $10, and he took us down to the waterfall. The hike wasn't easy, it's super steep downhill and it gets very hot and humid underneath the trees. We eventually made it to the first waterfall. It was in this beautiful gorge area with steep walls on both sides and the waterfall was just massive. After, we headed up to this smaller waterfall that I particularly wanted to go to because there were some places you could cliff jump. There was this rock that was a nice height of about 10 feet and it was just super fun to jump off and we could relax in the water. It was so refreshing, especially after the hot humid hike to get there. Afterwards, we're going to go down to the coast to visit El Tunco. Of all the beaches in El Salvador, this is probably the most famous. Located about a 45-minute drive from San Salvador, Tunco is the El Salvadorian slang word for pig, and the beach got its name from the rock formation that I guess kind of looks like an upside down pig. Now, the whole area is a vibe. I enjoyed walking on the street that leads to the beach. It's full of shops and restaurants and just had a really nice feel to it. I love the atmosphere when we got to the beach. It was just so beautiful. El Tunco is easily one of the best places to surf in El Salvador and Central America. There's several surf breaks along the coast and it was fun to just watch the surfers catch wave after wave. It really makes me want to learn how to surf. We came to El Tunco during the evening and the sunset did not disappoint, and I couldn't recommend this place enough. Now, another beautiful area just 20 minutes up the coast is El Zonte. This is another one of El Salvador's great places for surfing, and the beach here is incredibly beautiful. One feature I like about this area versus El Tunco is that there are these beautiful sea cliffs that you can see from the beach. While we're still on the coast, we're going to head to the eastern side of the country to visit El Cuco. Located about a 2.5 hours drive from the airport, El Cuco is a coastal community that is home to some incredible beaches. There's the Playa El Cuco, which is this super long beach with dark sand. Then right next to it is Playa Las Flores. It's a super beautiful beach that is in this cove-like area that has these rocky outcrops with some really cool hotels that you can stay at. Also, this area is another great spot for surfing. Who would have thought El Salvador had so many amazing surf spots? Now after that, we're going to head to the mountains of El Salvador to visit Cerro Eramón. Located in the department of Chalatenango, about 2.5 hours drive from San Salvador. Cerro Eramón is this incredibly scenic area that can be accessed by hiking, and it takes about an hour to walk there. Up top, there's an area where you can get water and also go camping or do a helicopter tour. Now from there, the famous view of Cerro Eramón is nearby. And I love the uniquely shaped green hills, and then there's just the incredible view of the scenery below. I didn't expect to find places like this in El Salvador. Now after that, we're going to visit another unique destination, Puerta del Diablo. When I was on my mission, this place was out of our boundaries, so I could never visit it, but people would always talk about it. So I was excited to finally go there. It's located about 30 minutes from San Salvador, and it's this park area built between these two massive rock features. Now while you're there, you can go down to a cave-like area on one side, and then you can also hike to the top of the rocks. We went out to this little rocky outcrop in the middle, and it gave us a great view of the area. I was really impressed with all the infrastructure. It's a nice place to come and escape the busyness of the city. After, we're going to visit some of El Salvador's ancient ruins. One of the most famous is called San Andrés, and is believed to have been founded in 900 BC. Another amazing historical site is Tazumal. It's located about 30 minutes from Santa Ana, and I think it's one of the most impressive ancient ruins in all of El Salvador. Now after that, we're going to go for a swim in one of the country's most scenic lakes, Lago de Coatepeque. Located on the western side of the country, about an hour and a half from San Salvador, Lago de Coatepeque is a crater lake formed by a volcanic eruption. The scenery here is just insane. The lake has a beautiful turquoise color, and then there's just these massive lush walls that surround the lake. When we got there, I was a little confused where to go, but we ended up going to this place called Restaurante Patriciar and got a nice meal, and it also had this diving board to jump into the water, so I had such a good time doing some flips into the lake. It felt so refreshing. I remember some of my El Salvador friends telling me that there's legends of a massive snake or Loch Ness-like monster that lives here, which I thought was pretty interesting. Regardless, the vibes here were great. If you want to, you can go on a boat ride or also rent some jet skis. It would be cool to have a little casita here on the lake shore. For our final destination, we're going to hike to the top of the Santa Ana volcano. Of all the volcanoes in El Salvador, I think Santa Ana is one of the most impressive. You can see it from Lago de Coatepeque, and it was about a 40-minute drive to reach the parking lot to start the hike. One thing that's important to know about the hike is that you have to do it early in the day before 11:30 a.m. and you need to pay for a guide, which you can find at the parking lot. I didn't love the fact that we needed a guide and had to go early, but that's just how it is for now. You can either go in a group and pay a few dollars per person or get a private guide, and that's what we ended up doing, and it costs about $35. The hike starts off hiking through the forest, and then you get to the entrance area where you pay about a $3 fee to enter the park. After that, the hike winded up the volcano with some beautiful views along the way. After about an hour and a half of hiking, we made it to the summit. The volcano has an elevation of 7,812 feet, so you're super high up, and it gets quite chilly. Now the scene up here was just on another level. I couldn't believe how big the crater was, and the lake at the bottom had such a distinct color with constant steam coming out of it. It was such a bizarre place. Santa Ana last erupted in 2005, so it is a very active volcano. Another thing I loved about this place is that you get a view of the Izalco volcano, which is right next to Santa Ana. It's another volcano that you can hike to the top of, and I'll have to do it next time I come to El Salvador. We could only stay on the top of Santa Ana for about 30 minutes before our guide wanted us to come down, so we weren't exposed to the volcanic gas for too long. All in all, it was one of the most epic things we did during our time in El Salvador. If you're looking for an adventure, you gotta come experience this volcano. Well, that is it for my El Salvador top 10. I have so much love for this country, and it was beyond special for me to come back after 10 years. It really has completely changed from what it used to be, and you can feel the happiness of the people while you're there. I definitely plan to come back to make some more videos of this incredible country. Let me know where your favorite place is in the comments below. I have a second channel called Scenic Relaxation where I make hour-long films to bring peace and nature in your life. I hope to do a video on El Salvador soon. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at shirley.films. It's Ryan, and we will see you later.